So about a week ago, you and I, for the first time in about 18 months, went out to see a movie.
Yes, we did.
We saw Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to talk about today because, quite frankly, I'm still wrapping my head around it, and I'm planning on going to see it again.
All I'll say about it is that I think about it every single day.
It seems that the big aspiration for any Hollywood director is to get the superhero movie. I would love to see Wes Anderson reboot the 60s Batman show as a movie. The really campy Batman.
His villains would be immaculate.
Adrian Brody as the Joker. Willem Dafoe as the Penguin. You can get some beautiful French actress to play Catwoman.
Yeah, say do woman, yeah.
Jason Schwartzman as Batman, and then the lobby boy from Grand Budapest Hotel as Robin.
Tony Rivoli, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It would be great!
When I saw The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, there's the scene where the pirates take over the ship. Whoa! I've never seen an action sequence like this. I want him to become an action film director. So it's about time he does some sort of superhero.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. It turns out that November has a theme. It's Hollywood Legends Month. Tonight, we get another famous director and another legendary actress who have never appeared on our show before in this movie.
All right.
I've put you through a lot this year. I've taken you to Frogtown. You've had to hang out with hackers and slime, non-vampire vampires. You faced all this with aplomb.
Yes.
This is a movie you're going to like because I think this is a universally beloved movie. Who knows? You might hate it. So I hope you're ready for the feel, the touch of Lubitsch as we watch Ninotchka.
Oh, hey! I haven't seen you in a while, young lady.
Released in 1939, Ninochka stars Melvyn Douglas, Greta Garbo, Ina Claire, and Basement alum Bela Lugosi. It was directed by Ernst Lubitsch and written by Billy Wilder, Charles Brackett, and Basement alum Walter Reich, who also co-wrote Gaslight. We watched that last year. We had things on our faces. After the success of Ninochka, it was a big hit, MGM wanted to follow it with another comedy vehicle for Garbo, and so they paired her again with Melvyn Douglas in 1941's Two-Faced Woman. It was such a critical failure, though a modest box office success, that despite a few false starts in the ensuing decades, it would be the last feature-length picture that Garbo would ever make. She retired from acting nearly 40 years before her death in 1990. She died before she could attend my high school graduation. She was going to.
Yes.
I had all the invitations sent out, and she was on the list. And then she went and died. Tonight's movie is a classic, and I thought that your gift should also be that.
Oh, well, nothing gets more classic than this. It's The Ultimate Supper.
Michelangelo.
Yeah.
You can hang that up in your new kitchen.
That's right.
And every meal can be a holy feast. Tonight you will not be alone. You'll be with us on the old leather couch, watching the comedy classic Ninochka. God, this lion never shuts up.
I know.
Bela Lugosi's in this movie. In this movie. Three Bolsheviks are in Paris. They're on a mission from Mother Russia. They need a room with a safe in it because they've got some very precious cargo. The crown jewels of Duchess Swana. And they're going to sell them in Paris and take the money back to Russia to benefit the people. How do you say 8 in Russian?
Hello, Leon.
Can't count on you for anything.
You can't count in Russian for anything. The Grand Duchess Swana.
Good morning, darling.
Wow.
I had dinner with the Gazelles last night.
With the gazelles? And then a lion stopped by and had dinner on the gazelles.
She's deposed royalty from Russia, and she finds out that her jewels that were seized from her are now being sold by these Russians. She talks to her beau, Count Leon. We've got to put a stop to it.
Because I'm running out of money, because I don't know how to work.
This is Bulyanov, Aronov, and Kopalski.
This is Krezhnev! Where are you?
Finally! An appropriate Krezhnev!
The three Russians meet with this Parisian jewelry dealer, but then Leon shows up. This sale can't happen.
I filed a petition for an injunction.
Injunction, junction, what's your function?
Preventing the sale of stolen jewelry.
If this case comes to trial, it'll be before a French court. And the judge will be French. The jury will be French.
They'll all talk like me, but they'll be French. You have to kind of accept that.
But tell us, what is in your mind?
Brain goo.
Listen, comrades, we can be friends.
Let's have some lunch.
And he wines them and dines them in extravagant fashion. Please enjoy today's entree, decorative lumps, bottles of champagne, ladies with so many cigarettes. The three Russians are drunk. They're having the time of their lives.
Why are you so good to us? Why are you so good?
We're in the West. Let's get freaky. We want to experience everything. But all that ends the next day when they find out that a special envoy is being sent from Russia because they're being screw-ups.
This envoy that you're not gonna believe is a woman?
I'm Nina Ivanovna Yakushova, envoy extraordinary.
But her friends, if she had any, call her Ninochka. She's a humorless woman.
She doesn't like all the extravagances she's seeing around her in Paris. Look at that hat. What a hat. Who would ever wear that? This room is so big. Do you know how many cows could be purchased with the rent from this room in one day?
Who am I to cost the Russian people 7 cows?
The rest of the oh yes. Ding!
This is the royal suite. Please send up some cigarettes.
Also send up 7 cows so we can ship them to Moscow to pay for the room.
Cigarettes, hello?
Whoa, we gotta send up for Charlie, the cigarette boy.
Comrades, you must have been smoking a lot.
Not as smoking as those goyles.
While I'm in Paris, I will see the structures.
She's going to find this Eiffel Tower, but she's not going there to enjoy herself or be a tourist. She wants to study it. Wouldn't you know, she runs into the very charming Count Leon. Why, I sense a pretty dame dressed up like a frumpy dame.
And he puts the flirt on pretty heavily while they're discussing traffic patterns.
Must you flirt?
Well, I don't have to, but I find it natural.
Suppress it. Your type will soon be extinct.
More dynamic leading men like Clark Gable and Cary Grant will make it so you don't get these types of roles so much anymore.
And that hairline of yours isn't going to be getting any lower.
There's Leon again. I just happen to be going to the Eiffel Tower myself. Let's go up in the Eiffel Tower together.
I've never seen this before. Beautiful, isn't it?
Suppress it.
And now, I'll show you the greatest attraction of all.
Whip out.
He invites her back to his apartment, and she says yes.
Good evening, Gaston.
Good evening, monsieur.
Everything's nice and decadent here with your spoils of capitalism.
Go to bed, little father. We want to be alone.
Oh, she's on brand. They woo each other.
Yes, this is the logical thing to do because we both seem to have attraction to each other. I like you for weird ways.
Your cornea is excellent.
They do end up kissing, and they seem to be enjoying themselves.
He gets a phone call.
The telephone is ringing.
Is that my mother on the phone? Telephone is ringing. Is that my mother on the phone?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes? What?
Why, yes, you have blocked it.
The lady he's been smooching is the one who's endangering the jewel deal for his girlfriend. The Countess Swana. Countess Grand Duchess Swana. She's no mere countess. Jesus.
I gotta go. No more pleasure. It's all business now.
The next day she goes out for lunch. She wants to eat where the workers eat. Leon's there too. Well, why don't I just sit at your table? Hey, remember all that kissing we did last night? How about you have some soup?
What about life, Ninochka? Do Russians never think about life?
Yes, life imprisonment in Siberia.
That's mainly what we think about. Leon takes a different approach. To try and thaw that icy exterior, he tells her some jokes.
2 Scotchmen met on the street.
It's gonna end with some sort of sheep sex. All Scotsman jokes do.
He knows they're funny, because he's told them before, but she's not laughing, and he starts to get upset.
A man comes into a restaurant.
Come on, man, you gotta think about the delivery.
Bring me a cup of coffee without cream. 5 minutes later, the waiter comes back and says, I'm sorry, sir, we have no cream. Can it be without milk?
Nothing! He leans back in his chair, he falls down, he knocks a table over.
Makes the entire restaurant laugh, including Ninochka.
The next day, she's at the meeting, and she just can't stop thinking about those funny stories and the funny thing that happened when the man fell.
And now my porn stash.
I will put it on.
No.
Pretend to be a sexy man.
You remember that hat that you looked at earlier?
You know, the weird cone hat that makes her look like some sort of hobbit? I'm ready to join the Lollipop Guild. Yeah. Where can I go tonight and secretly make shoes?
Ninochka comes to call.
Oh.
Do I look more like Tinky or Lala?
This is the 30s. They were called Radio Tubbies. I'm going to take you out to a fancy dinner. Somehow the Grand Duchess, Swana, GDS, that's what I call her. GDS and her society peeps find out that Leon is taking this Russian freak out to dinner. Hopefully she'll do some funny things that they can laugh at.
Look, there's Leon.
Look, there's Orson Welles. Ah, the French.
Ninochka tries champagne for the first time. How do we do this?
First she doesn't know what to make of it, but then she loves it. Leon and Ninochka dance. She is drunk.
Something is the matter. Comrades, comrades.
Darling, please.
Ixnay on the pinko talk. Waiter, bring me a coffee and no whatever you're out of.
Give me a double brandy.
Yes.
She causes a ruckus in the powder room, giving speeches about communism. Oh, it's a good thing for Brandy. Now they're both drunk.
And they go back to her suite.
When I kissed you, I betrayed a Russian ideal.
Really, in Russia, we go straight to second. No kissing.
We call it Tune In Stalingrad. They find that safe. Look at these jewels. Omsk. Good night. Ninochka is woken the next morning by Swana. She just waltzes into her apartment and says, "Wake up, sweetie. Oh, look.
The jewels are gone.
It must have been Leon who took them." Leon.
The professional.
No, it was the waiter. He's a good Russian, and he stole the jewels, and now I have the jewels. I'll take you to court. Yeah, but that'll take years.
2 years.
2 years in Paris? Sign me up.
Yeah, but keep in mind what's happening next year in Paris.
I will give you the jewels. Russia can keep the money. But you got to get on this plane to Russia and leave today and leave Leon alone because he's my boyfriend. Swana goes to Leon's place. Listen, babe, I got something heavy to tell you. I'm in love, but it ain't with you. It's with Ninochka, the Russian beauty, who's been captivating me for the last 2 days.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really matter because she is on a plane right now back to Moscow with the other 3 envoys.
You're not going to see them anymore.
And we never went to the Eiffel Tower.
They tell me it has a wonderful restaurant on the 2nd floor.
The food is good, but no atmosphere. Sorry, that is the restaurant on the moon.
But there is an elevator included in the price of admission.
Boy, she's really Werner Herzogging there. There is an elevator included. The price of admission. It is beastly and base. Back in Moscow,
The balloons for the May Day parade are big inflatable Raskolnikovs.
Ninochka's leading her drab existence once again. Every apartment in Russia has a languid cellist. Her roommate Anna is there.
Have you heard the latest they're telling about the Kremlin?
The premier ordered a coffee with no cream, and then the man came back to him and said, "Funny thing."
Yes, and then the man, he went away for a very long time.
She goes to see Commissar Razizin, who you may recognize as a creature of the night who sucks the blood of the living, but here he's just a government official. I got a job for you, Ninochka. You got to go to Constantinople because there's these guys there who are screwing up. It's your 3 buddies.
I never would have trusted them on a mission as important as a fur deal.
As important as a fur deal.
Please, don't make me go.
Don't waste my time, comrade.
Do not make me go at you. She goes to Constantinople. They're so happy to see her.
Isn't that wonderful?
They should call it Pro-Stantinople. We even opened a restaurant. Can you believe that?
And we have a backer, and he's out on the porch. Gah. It's Leon! You remember him from a few minutes ago.
The two lovers are reunited. The three bozos have their restaurant, and one of them's not happy. No, capitalism. As good the second time around?
Delightful.
Now, you're someone who's very knowledgeable about history. So, 1939, where's the Soviet Union at?
1939, they're about 20 years in. Stalin is in charge. The 5-year plan that they're talking about was trying to be worked out.
So, the Soviet Union has been around for quite a while, very much in the world consciousness, and very ripe for the parody of Ninotchka. Particularly the character of Ninotchka, who is as much of a caricature of a stern Russian as you can get.
Yes.
Now it seems a little too overdone, but back then I'm sure they were rolling in the aisle.
She was very funny as that stern...
She was a nice foil to the three clowns.
And also she has to show up that way because you have to believe that she would never fall for this cad, and that she would also never fall for this capitalism.
She does, and in an instant. All it takes is one pratfall to completely change a personality. She basically becomes a different character. But I understand the purpose of that in the story, because Garbo's playing two roles. In the first role, you want the audience to laugh at her, and in the second role, you want the audience to fall in love with her.
And also, she brought the dramatic weight to the comedy. That there is a firing squad waiting for her back in old Mother Russia if she messes this up.
So what would you say are the qualities of Greta Garbo that made her such a big star?
I think that her profile is amazing.
Like Marlene Dietrich, who we also just saw, she does kind of have that smoldering quality.
You know that she is a sexual being. And you have to do something at night, and it's a biological function. And for some reason, I think that might be the sexiest scene that we've ever watched on this show. Oh, her Klingon logic is turning me on.
Melvin Douglas. I really liked his ability to deliver comic dialogue really fast and really clearly. I mean, he really has a gift of language.
So smooth.
Ninochka is based on a 3-sentence story idea by Melchior Lengyel that made its debut at a poolside conference in 1937 when a suitable comedy vehicle for Garbo was being sought by MGM. Poolside conference. I wonder what that was like.
Los Angeles, man.
Lots of champagne and double brandies.
Yes.
And drownings. Here is the pitch. Russian girl, saturated with Bolshevist ideals, goes to fearful capitalist, monopolistic Paris. She meets romance and has an uproarious good time. Capitalism not so bad after all.
Here's the thing about the movie. They let communism speak. And they show capitalism also to be this kind of a horrible thing at times.
And how certain communist ideals are ridiculous. Like when Leon is talking to his butler and says, "Don't you want us to be equal?" And the butler says, "I'm not giving you my money."
Yeah, exactly. I have heard recently about the difference between bridge romances and drawbridge romances. Too often, movies are drawbridge ones, where one side needs to lower the gate and the person comes across. I'm a real stuck-up guy, and I'm this
wacky free spirit.
And he needs to go to the free spirit.
And with the bridge, they need to cross the bridge together.
They meet together in the middle. And this is very much that.
What is your Garbo story?
She was a recluse for decades, and so there would sometimes be sightings of her in New York. And an old friend of mine, he used to live in New York City. This would have been back in the 60s or 70s, and he sees Garbo, and he starts following her, keeping a respectful distance, but still basically following Garbo down the street. She just stops, turns around, throws up her arms, and looks at him. And he just stops dead in his tracks. And then she turns around and keeps walking, and he just lets her go.
That's pretty good.
I realized this time through what makes Ninotchka relatable. Enough people enjoy the princess fantasy. And so to see the most unlikeliest person falling into this kind of Cinderella story, they can go along for the ride, even though she will go into the powder room and be like, "We must rise up from our oppressors."
Do you like champagne?
No. I'll drink a glass when it's offered to me, but I'm not raring back for more.
Well, Ninochka has returned to the mother country, and it is now time for us to emigrate to a little segment we call Seen It. Ninochka is not just a pretty face, she was also a soldier in the Russian army. And so our theme for Seen It is the military.
A dude named Kemp writes, I recently watched A Few Good Men for the first time. All I knew about it was that you can't handle the truth scene, but I enjoyed the whole thing immensely. Seen It.
Seen It.
Aaron Sorkin's first major script.
A Few Good Men is a movie that I think to myself, I should go back and watch it at some point. But really, I probably just need to go back and watch that scene.
The Nicholson scenes. Just watch it. It takes 15 minutes out of your life.
R.K.G. Austin. My favorite Cary Grant movie is I Was a Male War Bride. Seen it? Yes.
No.
Never had a desire to watch it because the title's just trying too hard.
Yeah. Yes.
Cary Grant. He can do drama. He can do comedy. He's a romantic lead. And he's got the charm, that's the thread that runs through these three things. He's at his funniest when he's a frustrated man. Oh, this jungle cat, what am I going to do with this crazy woman, my wife? That's what makes you laugh, but he's still charming. Now, in this movie, when Cary Grant is just this cheerless grump, it's not fun to watch.
Granted, no. Cary Grant is one of the best film actors of all time. And so it is always kind of sad when he biffs it.
There's also a lot of sexual harassment humor in this. I know that it's the time. But when you hear someone say something like, he used to always chase me around the desk and you should have seen my bruises. It's like, what did he do to you? Is he assaulting you? This Cary Grant who we love so much?
Sean Henry writes, La Grande Illusion, one of the great movies. Seen it?
Seen it, yes.
Seen it. This is a prisoner of war movie. Takes place during World War I.
What is the grand illusion? We think we go to war because we think that they're different from us.
Yes.
They're the other person. But what this movie shows us is that we're really all the same. The Erich von Stroheim character basically falls in love with the aristocrat. Platonic love. Just because they both belong to the same type of aristocracy that's being killed off by the war. And so they have that bond that transcends national identity. And then in turn, the aristocrat gives his life so that the poor kid and the Jew can escape because he knows that two lives are more important than one. There's this universal humanity that makes nationalistic border squabbles meaningless.
But the problem is that the next war that was coming in just a few years would show that this idea of we're all the same doesn't really add up when it comes to extreme nationalism as would be presented.
The Nazis.
Yeah, the Nazis.
Kevin Hogan. Have you seen Mr. Roberts? Classic young Jack Lemmon and Henry Fonda with a great stage and screen adaptation from John Ford. Seen it?
Seen it.
This is a comedy. It also has William Powell.
And it's got Jimmy Cagney as the bad guy.
The captain, yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Lemmon is not annoying in it.
No,
which
he's not.
He really can be. I always remember the scene where Ensign Pulver has got some women coming aboard, and he promised him a bottle of whiskey, but he's got no whiskey. And so they have to create whiskey out of hair tonic and
medical supplies.
And when William Powell is tasting it and going, now what does it need? What does whiskey taste like?
Cagney is so diabolical. He's not quite a madman, but he's such a martinet that he's practically insane.
There is a place, you guys, and it's not a gulag.
And it's not the Eiffel Tower. We're just going to tell you right away.
It's our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can go there and watch all of our episodes, and there are PayPal donation buttons that you can manipulate with your computer machine. And you can make a one-time or rolling monthly donation to support this show. We got such a generous donation from Danielle, who says, I recently sold my house. Please take this and use it to watch more movies. Thank you for so many years of joy. Thank you, Danielle, for your generosity. And if your housing market where you live is like the one where we live, we hope you made a bundle.
Yes.
If you want to hear more sparkling Craig and Matt chat, you can also watch us open mail, and there are more surprises on the unboxing show, which comes out this coming Friday.
Yeah, well, there's boxes. We got very large boxes. I'd show them to you.
Huge boxes.
Can't
even pick them up.
No.
Thank you for watching, Ninochka. We hope you enjoyed yourself, and we hope you will now enjoy this.
Who am I to cost the Russian people 7 cows?